All right, morning gaps. A morning gap is a stock that is dropping in pre-market and it's going to open lower than its previous close. By double-clicking morning gaps, you can see who those are. Now, this data is only really valid in pre-market, prior to the market open. It's one of the few items we have in the product that gives you pre-market data. But this is very powerful, as you can see who's going to open lower. You can also see who's going to open higher. There's a lot of trading techniques that you can use for gaps. Now, we won't get into those techniques that much right here, but the idea is to catch something that'll likely rebound. I mean, that's one use for gaps. Now, right now I'm showing there's one stock here that's going to gap down, or would have gapped down in pre-market. Right now the market's closed. Minus 25%. Okay? Anything you click on, you'll see its chart here to the right. It gives you an idea of what's going to happen or where it's been. Now, one thing that's useful is if stock's gapping down big, you might want to find out why. That might make a difference. So you can click down here on news, and it brings up the news for that stock. You can see what's going on. In this case, it looks like I can't really tell by these headlines why the stock was gapping down, but okay, it's mentioning something here about tepid earnings from AMD. Yeah, okay, that's an earnings report. But you get the idea. You see why it's gapping down. You might just consider doing something about it, like say jumping in so it bounces. Like this one here, for example. See, right now the market's closed, but earlier when the session was just opening, AMD, which is what I'm looking at, gapped down. Let's take a quick look at this chart for that day, and let's go look at what it actually did. Let's look at a 5-minute chart. Now, you see what happened here. If we zoom in, you see that this stock plummeted from here down to here, and it sort of went sideways for a while. Then it spiked way up, and it recovered nicely. If that's your strategy, you could have jumped in somewhere here in the early going to ride the stock back up. You know, bargain hunters go and they seek these out and they start jamming them higher. That's one of many strategies you could use. But the point is that gaps are one thing that this product has that very few people have in their stock software. One other thing I want to point out is you can also do gap ups. By sorting, by clicking that, you'll flip it the other way. Now we're looking at the stocks that are going to gap up. And there you have them. Sometimes they keep going, sometimes they don't. Like this one here, gapped up and then just kept flying. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they crash. Anyhow, you get the idea. Gaps are very powerful. By the way, if you want to do a paper trade, you just click paper trade. But paper trade doesn't take pre-market orders, so you'd have to wait. But at least that feature is there. All right?